Check one, check two. Check one, check two. Oh my God. It's like the sun just came up and it is so damn hot today. Just fixing the camera there so I can see myself because, my God, am I just an incredibly narcissistic piece of shit. Oh my God. Probably a white chocolate mocha was not the greatest drink choice for a 90-something degree day with 100% humidity. Not gonna lie, I came out here this morning and I was like, oh, it rained because everything was wet. There were puddles in my driveway. It didn't rain. It was just that humid all night long. Disgusting. It's time, you know what? I think it's time we just torch this planet and start again. Much like the aliens in Independence Day. You know what? Let's get what we gotta get out of this blue marble floating through space and move on to the next one. So today I am talking about Independence Day, ID4. Happy 4th of July, by the way. I'm not gonna lie, I sat down last night to record a video for this morning, and I was gonna do everybody's talking about the 100 greatest movies of the 21st century. I've heard it on a few podcasts. A bunch of different websites have been putting out their own articles and lists, and I thought, oh, this will be fun. I'll go through the list. We'll talk, a little bit about a lot of the movies. And I was like, well, there'll be some movies I don't really have an opinion on, or, a handful of movies I haven't seen. And I sat down to record, and I got through like 50 of the top 100, and I probably only had seen 5. So I felt like that didn't make for a particularly insightful video. So I threw it in the garbage. I didn't even hit delete. It's still on the very memory card that that this video exists on. So I guess I could show it to you at some point if you really wanted to see me going, oops, haven't seen it. Oops, haven't seen it. There's some embarrassing ones in there too. There's ones that, they were like real cultural milestones, and I just had no interest in the moment, maybe because they were so popular. I'm a little bit of a contrarian that way. Lost in Translation, never saw it. Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind, never saw it. That one I think I blame on Garden State, because I saw Garden State and it was just such self-indulgent, like sniffing your own fart, like trying to be kind of that cool indie movie. I just had no interest in it. And I know Garden State and Eternal Sunshine are not the same movie. I know they're wildly different movies. But you know what? Oh my God, the bugs. Minnesota, folks, Minnesota. I am just baking. I should not have worn jeans. You can't even see. I could just be nude from the waist down, Porky Pig in it. You would have no idea. The neighbors are used to it, so they would think nothing of it. In any case, Independence Day, here we are, the 4th of July. Hope you guys are getting out there, doing some grilling, having some dogs, maybe a Chicago dog, some boigas, maybe some street corn. Grill that corn, baby. Corn on the grill. Nothing better. Corn on the cob on the grill. It's important that it's on the cob. If you're going to be grilling corn, don't just buy a can of corn, Del Monte corn kernels, and pour it into your grill. It's not going to work. It's going to fall right down into the coals. That's just 101. That's rookie stuff. But yeah, I want to talk about this movie today. One, it's appropriate. I think last year I talked about the movie Uncle Sam, which is a hilariously bad horror movie about a a soldier that comes back from the war as a zombie and steals an Uncle Sam costume. It's a whole thing. It was actually really bad. It was a fun movie to watch with like people that want to laugh at a bad movie. I think if I was watching it alone, I would have just been bored out of my mind. But it was also funny because it really paints the soldier in a horrible light. He was just a horrible, abusive human being, just terrible in every way a person could be terrible. So it was kind of funny that like that was the position sort of the film was taking, was just what an awful guy this soldier was. I mean, it makes sense. He's the villain of the movie, but in any case, Independence Day. So my point is I can't talk about Uncle Sam because I already talked about it. And you all know I never talk about the same thing twice. Absolutely not. If I've spoken of it once, I never speak of it again. I never tell the same story twice. You know this. Anyway, I think the first Independence Day, and I should say I didn't see the sequel, but I think the first Independence Day now, and mostly I blame people like Red Letter Media, I think now it gets unfairly like in the YouTube movie critic sphere, and obviously the fan bases that those large popular YouTube channels that talk about movies and podcasts, you know, a lot of these fan bases tend to sort of take their marching orders from the personalities that they are a fan of. And I think because of that, Independence Day has gotten a reevaluation over the years of that it's actually pretty bad. Where I thought we were all in universal agreement when that movie came out, like, this is a good time. This is fun. And that's what I'm here today to defend. I'm here to defend the fact that Independence Day is a fun movie. It's especially now, it's a throwback to a different era of Hollywood blockbuster, of sort of epic storytelling. There's not a, like, when you really look at it, yes, there are characters who don't need to be there or have sort of attributes that don't matter. Obviously, like Vivica A. Fox's character being an adult entertainment dancer ultimately serves no purpose, but it's flavor. And I like a movie with flavor. I don't think flavor is a bad thing. I think if you hadn't given her some kind of even two-dimensional character attributes, I think then the complaint would be, well, why is this character even here? But I think it's good that she's there. The movie is about, this terrible thing that is happening all over the world, but obviously we're focused on America. Oh yeah, piping hot. Although it's hitting the point where the air temperature is hotter than the coffee. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. But the point of this movie, I think, the fun part of the ensemble nature of Independence Day is that it's a bunch of characters from a bunch of different walks of life. This, disaster, because this could have been, a giant earthquake. This could have been a mega thunderstorm or something. This could have been a Sharknado happening all over the country. Hundreds of Sharknadoes. You never know where it's gonna touch down. But the point is it's a bunch of different people, bunch of different walks of life, bunch of different class structures, and they're all sort of equalized by this disaster, and they all find ways to help. They all contribute. and they all come together. And I like a movie, especially this kind of ensemble movie that starts you off in a bunch of different locations with a bunch of different characters, and as the movie goes on, those characters slowly, their stories circle together and then finally join at the end, and you get the sort of the merging of all the separate threads of story all come together at the end. And I think that's fun. I think honestly, there's a couple janky special effects shots, but for the most part, all of the special effects hold up. It's at a time where so much was practical. It's really incredible how well, like, I feel like this was probably the height for practical effects, because this is when it was about to shift to digital. And then you have, unfortunately, the really tough growing pains era of digital effects, where even the best stuff coming out of Hollywood, the ambitious stuff, was pretty hokey looking by today's standards. We accepted it at the time. But all the practical effects, all the miniature, the fighter jets and the alien spacecraft and the aliens themselves, all that stuff was done practically, and it all looks so good still. It really, really holds up. I don't think you can argue with the Bill Pullman's, president speech, the famous, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. That's one of the greatest, inspirational speeches in movie history. It's a top 5, right? It's got to be a top 5. Again, you can think it's cheesy, you can think it's hokey, but in my opinion, that's what this movie is supposed to be. Like, this movie almost edges on just like pro-humanity propaganda. Like, it's almost like a movie, like, it's got that edge to it where it's really about, no, when the chips are down, human beings are awesome. That's basically what this movie boils down to. And maybe in practice, I think the truth is much more gray. But in a movie like this, I want it to be celebratory. I want it to be, I want revelous? Is revelous a word? Revelatory is probably the right word. I don't know. Look, it's early. I'm hot. But I want this movie to be triumphant. I want it to be uncomplicated. I don't want it to get bogged down in some message about how terrible we are to each other. Because guess what? Spoiler alert, we are. And that's not what I want to go see a movie for. I can see that on the street. I can see that in the news. I want to go and watch a movie where, like, we all band together and kick some ass. Like, that's what I want. I want Vivica A. Fox driving a big old dump truck, saving people with her big old dump truck. I want Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith, downloading a virus or uploading a virus into an alien spaceship. I want Bill Pullman and Randy Quaid and the kids and Judd Hirsch. I want all these people. I want them all in there. I want them all scrapping. Brent Spiner, obviously. Man, that was, as a big Star Trek fan, seeing Brent Spiner pop up in something where he was just playing something, obviously radically different from Data on Next Gen, was kind of a big thrill for me. He was a guy that wasn't really in a million things. I will say I remembered him from Night Court back in the day, because I was a big Night Court fan.
and he all talked like this, and he was very funny. And there was a poor family from the country.
Very fun. Actors gotta act, baby. Tell you what, I would get right now if you said, because the new Night Court is still going on, right? Like I'd be a funny recurring character on the new Night Court. I would do that. That'd be fun. I could do it. You heard the voice. Like I've got it down. But yeah. Sorry. I think it's the heat. My sinuses are just like draining into the back of my throat. So I hope I'm not making too many disgusting noises into the microphone. Speaking of which, where are we on time? Oh, 15 minutes. Plenty of time. Maybe I won't keep you too much today. I don't need to ramble for another 15 minutes. You guys got stuff to do. But yeah, Independence Day. Don't let the haters tell you can't like something. Don't let, the critics tell you that you can't have fun with something. It's a good time. It is, for, if you're going to, I think when you look at like what movies can I watch on the 4th of July, 4th of July specific movies are few and far, I think, to come by. You can watch Born on the 4th of July with Tom Cruise, but that's not going to be fun. You got Independence Day. I guess you got Uncle Sam. I guess technically you got Return of the Living Dead because it is July 3rd is the date. And I don't know if the movie ends after... Yeah, it ends after midnight, so it ends on July 4th because it ends like as the sun's coming up. So that is a 4th of July movie. So that's maybe the best 4th of July movie, although it has nothing to do with the 4th of July. Except there's some major fireworks at the end, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, it's... I don't... Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But what I don't like is when the internet decides a new opinion and everybody, the world is like lazy clickbait now. So if someone with a big audience puts out a hot take and their audience, it's not just their audience that kind of adopts their opinion, which personally, and let me say this, I love Red Letter Media. I don't know what if... Yeah, I probably, when I talk about them on the channel, I often only talk about this specific issue that I have. And it's really, my issue is not with them because they are entitled to their opinion. I'm not saying their opinion is wrong. My issue is with their fan base. The fact that their fan base, more than a lot of YouTube fan bases, really is sort of discurious. They tend to just seemingly say, oh, this is what Mike and Jay think. That's what I think now. Like, okay, Independence Day is bad because Mike and Jay said it's bad. I think that's lame and lazy. And it's almost like people think disagreeing is like somehow being a bad fan, which I couldn't disagree with more. I couldn't agree with less. I think there's nothing wrong with liking people and maybe, mostly agreeing with their point of view or their takes. But honestly, you could like Red Letter Media and disagree with all of their takes because I think they're entertaining and I think their discussions are insightful and they're interesting. But at the end of the day, you could still disagree. That's okay. I would say I probably disagree with them on like 80% of their sort of takes on movies. And there's other people. There's Red Cow Entertainment, who I think are great, and I love their podcast, as well as all of their other videos. But, you know, again, I probably disagree with their takes on movies and TV shows. I don't know. You know, I probably agree with 80% or 70% of what they're saying. But when I disagree, it's okay. Like, I still like them. I'm still entertained by their take. And maybe that's the difference. Maybe people need to start looking at these things not as like a debate, not as homework, but you do need to look at it like I'm hanging out. Not even that I'm hanging out, that I'm being entertained by these people talking about movies. And I'm not here to confirm that my opinion of this movie is right. I'm not here to make sure that these people and I have the same opinion. It's really just about entertainment. That's it. But then I should say too, it's like, a YouTuber with a huge fan base, has maybe a hot take opinion on something. Well, that's not just their fan base is absorbing it. That is all the probably now AI generated clickbait headline sphere also picks up on it. So all of your Screen Rants and I can't even think of all the other ones that I see in my news feed all the time. They're constantly, they're constantly like sifting or, cherry picking like popular internet comments or whatever. And they're just creating endless amounts of clickbait headlines out of this stuff. And it's really obvious when you see, like, I use RLM because I see it very clearly with them as an example. When they put out a hot take on something, I will within a week or two, I will start seeing all of these clickbait articles having the same hot take that they did. And so then that just perpetuates these opinions. And that's what they are. They're just opinions. But it's all this big, giant, disgusting machine that is just ultimately is mostly stealing the opinions of a couple of influential people and sort of regurgitating clickbait that makes it seem like, no, this is kind of the new sort of cultural reevaluation of something versus a couple guys' opinions of something. I don't know if you can see the planes in the background, but there's an airport runway right here. So if you didn't see it, I'm sure you heard it. Anyway, I think I will stop rambling because I'm dying. I'm going to hopefully get back over to the camera and stop record before I literally turn into a puddle. But thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Happy 4th of July. Hope you have a good day. Hope you like the sound of fireworks, because you about to be hearing it all night long. But yeah, thank you. If you made it this far, obviously hit that subscribe button. Losing subscribers with the new format, which I fully expected. That's kind of how it goes. But we'll rebalance. We'll get there. It's all good. We're just having fun. That's all that matters. All right, guys. I will see you. Oh my God. I gotta hit the old stop record. Where are we at? 24 minutes. All right.